picture story next. There are 5 of them. And the description reads, a multiple picture story entry on a news, feature, or sports related subject by at least 2 photographers.
Say that one more time.
A multiple picture story entry on a news, feature, or sports related subject by at least 2 photographers.
Okay.
So it's a team, a staff, or multi-photographer story. Josh, you're good on, you ready? Okay.
Dr. Amy Acton. Dr. Amy Acton, Director of Health for the Ohio Department of Health, was thrust into the spotlight during the coronavirus pandemic. Acton became Governor Mike DeWine's chief advisor during the rise of the public health crisis. Her recommendations to prevent the spread of COVID-19, such as wearing masks, living in quarantine, and social distancing, drew compliments from some and criticism from many others.
Story 2.
This story had no summary, but the title is Life in a Pandemic.
Story 3.
Social distancing. The coronavirus pandemic was battled through efforts including hand washing, mask wearing, and social distancing to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Despite living apart, people still found creative ways to connect.
Story 4.
Officer killed. Toledo police officer Anthony Dia was shot and killed while answering a call in the parking lot of a Home Depot store early on July 4th. Officer Anthony Dia, 26, was responding to a call about 12:11 a.m. regarding an intoxicated man, 57-year-old Edward Henry, in the parking lot of the store. Witnesses told police that Henry was walking away from the officer when he turned and fired 1 round from a handgun.
And this is the last one.
Protests erupt. Following the death of George Floyd at the hands of a Minneapolis police officer, protests erupted across the country. The demonstrations went on for weeks in cities small and large.
Scroll through. Are there any that you have strong feelings about either way? Want to eliminate, want to keep? Captions?
Right now, my two favorites are social distance and protest. But I'm undecided on the third and undecided on which one I prefer for first out of these two.
I think social distance is up there for me. And I think this one is probably towards the bottom for me. There's some strong photos, but there's not really, you don't see many faces. And I feel like some of the photos that show the difference don't do it to the possibly best extent. I guess like the funeral, like I see that there are 3 people behind a casket, but I feel like something wider would show the lack of people there, kind of the difference between a normal funeral and a funeral taking place in COVID times.
Yeah, I don't think this one is quite as strong. I agree with there like not being a lot of faces and like, I don't know, kind of a few too many like generic photos and not enough like actual storytelling.
So remove it, or we can whittle this down however you want.
I could get rid of it.
Yeah, I think this is probably the weakest of the bunch.
Okay, I see 3 heads nodding.
I personally thought this was pretty strong, although there were some weak images, and like the sequencing, like when it went to the I guess I assume mother, I'm not sure, in the hearse, I kind of saw that maybe as being the last image, and I was kind of a little bit confused when it went to a less emotion provoking image to end the story.
Yeah, this could be shorter by about 2 or 3 images, I feel like. Yeah, the guy at the end is a little kind of random. I don't think they need that one, and maybe just one of the casket photos, probably the number 7, but not necessarily both.
Can you go to the Dr. Acton?
This one also wasn't that strong for me. I mean, the opening photo is just of her name tag was which was a little like not the best image to open with. And then of course we like the the protesters in the window photo, but I'm not quite sure how that like relates to the rest of it.
Yes, I feel like I don't learn that much about her, and like granted there's limited limited access. You can't hang out with your subjects, especially at the beginning of the pandemic when everyone was being very careful. But I feel like it's much more about the public perception of her, which is like maybe that's the focus of the story, and maybe it's not you're not supposed to get to know more behind the scenes or who she is, but maybe just my thoughts.
Yeah, honestly, I could remove the Amy Acton one.
Would there be a
You
second?
guys,
Yep.
Yeah,
Three
it
not
just
okay.
doesn't- Yeah, it just doesn't really hold up.
I'm good
It's
with
like-
that order.
Yeah, and I would just say one more comment about this. It's like we really liked that photo of the wife and the son, and that was taken at the this guy's same day memorial or whatever. But it's like, why aren't we seeing a few more pictures from that? We have like I guess the crime scene photo, and then I don't know. I just like that was a really good moment. And it's just very zoomed in on them. Why aren't we seeing maybe if there were other people that were gathering at this
kind of like a sense
makeshift
of place.
memorial? Anyway, that's my comments at the time.
Okay. So is that a sort of consensus order then, first, second, third?
Sure.
Okay. I see heads nodding. We'll go with that.